What's going on, guys? It's Curtis here with another Ignited Faith Hot Shot, and I just want to talk to you guys about things that I've seen and things that I've noticed from a righteous standpoint, how the religious respond to righteous action. And it's come at a time where people come into our church. We have a lot of guest speakers come in, and they bring a lot of crowds in because these people are pretty popular. They're very, I would use the term kind of famous. And they bring in these people because they want to hear what these people have to say until the people say what God has told them to say. And it's at that point you see the righteous people step up and the religious people fall back. And I've seen people storm out of the service. I've seen people, just like fragrantly wave their hands and like, no, that's not going to happen. It's not uncommon because the righteous people cannot stand with the religious people, and the religious people cannot stand with the righteous people. And what I mean is, I'm not saying that we can't go to them and talk to them as a righteous person, but we are called to do so much more of the righteousness of God than we ever were able to do as a religious minded people. That's why Jesus came back to fulfill the law, to make us a righteousness, to make us a righteous people, to make us a righteous remnant of God. And I just want to encourage you guys that, if you're stuck in a religious mind, and I've talked about this, ad nauseum, so like Pastor likes to say. I've talked about this ad nauseum on the channel, where it's like, religion will not get you anywhere. It does not do anything for you. All it does is put you in a place of bondage to another man. Whereas the righteousness of God frees us from that religion and puts us in a place where we can walk in an authority. Because the religious like to have their structured governments. They like to have things in order. They like to have things, they don't like to be surprised. They don't want to be out. They don't want to step out of line. They don't want to step outside the pattern that religion has built for them. But the righteous have broken the mold. The righteous are called to step out of the lines, to blur, what is righteous versus what is religious. And we're called to break that because we're not called to be religious people. And if you're religious and you're watching this saying, well, God established laws. God established laws for us to follow. But Jesus had to come fulfill those laws because we weren't doing a good enough job. And, if you want to continue trying to follow a religious law, you're never going to make it. I'm sorry, but there's no way in the world that a natural man can fulfill the laws of God. It's not possible. That's why Jesus came. That's what he came and established before us, that he took the sins, he took the curse, he became the curse, he took the nails, he hung on the cross, he spent 3 days in darkness to take the keys back, to free the people which he came back to free. And if you choose to be righteous, then you become one of those people. But if you continue to walk in ignorant religion, you are setting yourself up for a hard life, a struggle life, a life that is, unfulfilling because you're not able to do what Jesus called you to do because you're too busy trying to fulfill a law that man keeps trying to push on you. So, if you're religious, if you're religious minded, step out and become righteous. If you're stuck in a government or a pattern, and I'm encouraging you, as a religious person, take a look back on your life. What have you done? Where have you grown? What have you seen happen in your life where you become blessed? Or have you just seen the people at the top become blessed? Have you seen, I've witnessed firsthand pastors buy new cars, but the church hasn't been fixed. I've witnessed, new watches, new suits, hundreds of dollars here, hundreds of dollars there, and nothing is happening in the church. Is that what you want? Is that what you want for your life? Is that what you think God wants for your life? Because it's not what God wants for your life. God doesn't want just one person to be rich. He wants the entire church to be rich. And the church is not four walls. The church is the man. We as the church are called to be prosperous. We're called to be abundant. Jesus didn't go to make our lives, less abundant. He said it's going to be more abundant. So, if you're a righteous person, keep doing what you're doing. If you're religious, step out and do what is righteous. Do what God called us to do. Do what Jesus told us to do. If you're stuck reading the Old Testament, why don't you flip to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John and read about what Jesus told us we should be doing, and read about the lessons that he taught and the words that he said and the things that he did, because he said, these things I have done and greater works you shall do also. I want to do greater works. I don't want to be stuck in the same pattern or a holding pattern of religion where it's like, I don't have space to land because there's no space down there for me. I want to be, brought in, by God given the authority to land and the authority to come down and to establish myself as a citizen of God, as a citizen of heaven, as a child, as a king, priest, as an authoritative figure under his rule, because then I become a joint heir and I join in the inheritance that he has for us, because Jesus went to prepare a great place for us with mansions and streets of gold and rivers like sapphire, and where the glory of the Lord is and will never not be, where the sun isn't even necessary. That's what I strive for. That's what I'm pushing for. And I'm encouraging you guys to step out of that mind, of that holding pattern, that religious, mindset, I guess is the only word I can think of. It's not the word I want, but I want you guys to step out and just become a righteous remnant, a promise, holder of God. Seek the ancient pathways, the deeds of sale that were bought for us. Open them up, find them for yourself. Find the prophecies that says what God has for us, and in that, find yourself drawing closer and closer to God and walking less and less with the world. So I just give you guys, encouragement, and I love you, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. God bless.